She's telling the truth! Don't hurt them!
This is our home. We did nothing wrong.
It was a crisp autumn afternoon in Willow Creek, a manicured suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina, where the oak-lined streets and colonial-style homes whispered of stability and privilege. I was tending to my azaleas, the scent of damp earth grounding me, when my neighbor's voice cut through the quiet. "You know, some folks just don't fit in a place like this," she said, her tone honeyed but sharp, like a blade dipped in syrup. The words came from Evelyn Harper, the self-appointed queen of our cul-de-sac, delivered through her son, Nathan, a polished young man in a tailored blazer who carried himself like he owned the world. I brushed it off, chalking it up to their usual elitism, and went back to my gardening. Little did I know, those words were a spark that would ignite a firestorm, exposing a web of lies that would unravel their perfect facade and test the strength of my own family. My name is James Carter, a 52-year-old structural engineer who built a life in Willow Creek through decades of hard work. My pride and joy, beyond my career, is my 20-year-old daughter, Maya, a junior at NC State studying environmental science. She's bright, compassionate, and fiercely independent, with a radiant smile and a head of tight curls that catch the sunlight. That fall, Maya was moving into the guest cottage I designed behind our house, a modern gem of cedar and glass, my labor of love. She'd grown weary of dorm life, with its endless noise and chaos, and the cottage was her sanctuary, a place to study and grow, yet close enough for Sunday dinners. The move-in day was perfect, the kind of day where the sky is a boundless blue and the air hums with possibility. Maya pulled up in her weathered hatchback, her laughter spilling out as she hauled her suitcases toward the cottage. We shared a warm embrace, the kind that holds a lifetime of love. But perfection, I've learned, invites poison. From the corner of my eye, I saw Evelyn Harper, clad in her signature coral cardigan, storming across her lawn. Her face was a mask of outrage, her eyes narrowed as if we'd committed a crime. She didn't address me, the homeowner who'd paid the same steep taxes as she had. Instead, she aimed her venom at Maya. "What do you think you're doing with those bags?" Evelyn snapped, her voice shrill enough to pierce the afternoon calm. Maya, startled but polite, responded, "I'm moving in. This is my dad's place." Evelyn's lips curled into a sneer. "That's no guest cottage. It's an illegal rental. I'm on the HOA board, and I know the rules. You can't just move in there." The word "you" dripped with contempt, heavy with the weight of her prejudice. I stepped forward, my voice steady but firm. "Evelyn, this is my daughter. She's family, not a tenant. This is my property." She scoffed, her eyes flicking over Usmy dark skin, Maya's curls as if we were intruders in her pristine world. "My Nathan could use that space," she said. "He's a successful consultant, works long hours. He deserves a quiet office. He belongs here." The audacity was staggering. She was claiming my property for her son, as if Maya's existence was an affront to her warped sense of entitlement. Maya, ever composed, said, "Ma'am, this is my home. We're not breaking any rules." That was the breaking point for Evelyn. Her face flushed crimson, and she shrieked, "You're trespassing. I'm calling 911. There's a stranger threatening me." She fumbled for her phone, her hands trembling with theatrical rage. I stood my ground, arms crossed, as she dialed, her lies painting Maya as a criminal on our own land. The police arrived with a quiet menace, 2 cruisers blocking Maya's car in the driveway. Evelyn, now on her lawn, played the victim, clutching her chest as if she'd narrowly escaped danger. The senior officer, a grizzled man named Officer Daniels, listened to her tale of suspicious individuals trying to break in. I explained the truth. This was my home, Maya was my daughter, and Evelyn was fabricating a crisis. The younger officer, twitchy and quick to judge, kept eyeing Maya's curls, as if they confirmed her guilt. After checking our eyes despite my protest that we shouldn't need to prove ourselves in our own yard, they left, warning Evelyn to keep the peace. But the damage was done. The incident left a scar, tainting Maya's new beginning. Evelyn didn't stop. She weaponized the HOA, filing complaints about unauthorized construction and loitering by Maya, as if my daughter was a vagrant in her own home. She planted signs along her property line. "Private property. Trespassers reported." Neighbors who once waved now avoided us, poisoned by her whispers. Maya grew cautious, her vibrant spirit dimmed by the constant scrutiny. It was unbearable to watch my daughter shrink in her own space. I fought back with precision. I installed high-definition security cameras around our property, their sleek lenses a silent warning. I see you. The signs vanished overnight, and Evelyn's complaints about the cameras were dismissed when I cited HOA bylaws allowing them for safety. But the war escalated. Evelyn's campaign wasn't just about use, it was about her son, Nathan, the golden child she propped up as proof of her superiority. He was, she claimed, a high-flying consultant who bankrolled her lifestyle. Yet something about him didn't add up. Nathan's visits were strange, almost furtive. He'd arrive in a leased BMW, always glancing over his shoulder, his smile strained. My cameras caught him pacing on Evelyn's porch, arguing on the phone in a panicked whisper. One day, he pulled up in a battered pickup, hauling empty boxes into her garage before speeding off, only to return in his BMW, polished as ever. Maya noticed it too. He looks haunted, she said over dinner. Like he's running from something. I decided to dig deeper, not out of spite, but survival. Evelyn's harassment was relentless, and the police and HOA were no help. I started with Nathan's career. A friend in finance, Laura, checked professional databases and found no thing-no licenses, no registrations. Nathan had been fired from a reputable firm 5 years ago for mismanaging a client's portfolio, costing a retiree their savings. Public records painted a grimmer picture. Lawsuits for unpaid debts, an eviction from a luxury condo, and a second mortgage on Evelyn's house, likely to bail him out. Then came the bombshell. Laura uncovered a marriage license from a small town in Virginia, dated 3 years ago. Nathan was married to a woman named Aisha Coleman, a black pediatric nurse. Social media photos showed her with a toddler, a boy with Aisha's warm eyes and Nathan's sharp jaw. Nathan, the son of a woman who despised people like us, had a secret black wife and biracial child. The hypocrisy was staggering. Evelyn's crusade against us was a desperate shield for a truth that would shatter her world. My cameras became a window into Nathan's unraveling. Late one night, Aisha arrived in scrubs, slipping into Evelyn's backyard to hand Nathan a manila envelope. Their exchange was tense, her body language pleading, his dismissive. Another day, a delivery van brought a box of baby supplies to Evelyn's address, labeled for Aisha with a note, "For Little King." Nathan intercepted it, panic etched on his face, hiding it in his trunk before resuming his role as the perfect son at Evelyn's garden party. The evidence mounted, but I needed more. I drove to the Virginia town and obtained the marriage certificate, confirming Nathan's double life. I found Aisha's apartment, a modest complex where she lived openly with their son, Malik. Watching her push him on a swing, her love radiant, I felt a surge of anger. She was forced to sneak around, her life reduced to a secret to protect Nathan's lies. The final piece was a conversation with the retiree Nathan had ruined, Mr. Ellis, a former librarian. His voice trembled as he recounted how Nathan's reckless trades wiped out his savings, forcing him to sell his home to cover his wife's medical bills. Nathan had declared bankruptcy, shielding his assets, Evelyn's money, leaving Ellis with nothing. This wasn't just cowardice, it was predation. I confronted Nathan on a quiet evening when Evelyn was at her book club. Knocking firmly on his door, I watched his facade crumble as I listed his sins: the lawsuits, the marriage, the child, the ruined retiree. "You've let your mother terrorize my daughter to hide your lies," I said. "You're a coward, hiding a family you should be proud of." He collapsed into a chair, sobbing, admitting he was trapped by Evelyn's expectations and his own failures. I gave him an ultimatum: stop Evelyn's harassment and come clean, or I'd expose him to his mother, Aisha, and the press. "You have 24 hours, I said, leaving him broken. For 2 days, silence reigned. Evelyn avoided us, her expression vacant. I dared to hope the war was over. Then, on a Saturday night, sirens shattered the peace. For police cruisers stormed our driveway, officers armed and ready, responding to an anonymous tip about a drug deal in the cottage. Maya and her study group froze, terrified, as officers shouted commands. I screamed that it was a lie, but they advanced, a battering ram in hand. From Evelyn's porch, Nathan watched, horror-stricken. As the police prepared to breach the cottage, something snapped in him. He sprinted toward them, yelling, "It's a lie. My mother lied. There are no drugs." Officers restrained him, but his confession stalled the raid. Then Aisha's car screeched to a stop. She leapt out, Malik in her arms, and stood beside Nathan. "His mother hates people like us," she sobbed. "This is her doing." Evelyn emerged, her eyes locking onto Aisha and Malik. The realization hit like a tidal wave: her son's secret family, a black woman and a biracial child. She clutched her chest, her face ashen, and collapsed, her world obliterated. Paramedics rushed to her side as Nathan cradled her, his lies laid bare before the neighborhood. Evelyn survived, but returned a shell of herself, her vibrant cardigans replaced by gray sweats, her garden neglected. Nathan's facade crumbled. The BMW was gone, replaced by the pickup. He and Aisha sold the house, moving to Virginia to rebuild. He vowed to repay Mr. Ellis, a promise I hope he kept. Aisha thanked me for my restraint, and Maya, with her quiet strength, forgave them. The new neighbors, a lively family with young kids, brought laughter back to the street. Maya flourished, her cottage a haven of art and ambition. The scars remained, but they made us stronger. Standing in my yard, watching Maya thrive, I knew our victory wasn't in Evelyn's downfall, but in our resilience. We belonged, and no one could take that away. What do you think about the role of prejudice and injustice in this story? Have you faced or witnessed similar battles in your own community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on how we confront these issues in our lives.